sellout crowd. And what is Oxford's home? That will be changing in the near future with a new stadium on the horizon. Everyone here today enthused by what they're about to see. Well, you would imagine emotions for one set of fans to be very different come 5 o'clock. Here's the team news then. Oxford boss Matt Bloomfield makes 2 changes and a formation change to the side that started at Southampton as he goes back to a 4-2-3-1. Ruben Ruskin makes his first appearance in almost 7 weeks. He replaces Jack Curry on the left because he's out with an ankle injury. On the other side, Brody Spencer is left on the bench and Tottenham loanee Jamie Donnelly comes in. Shemisov Kwahete is back in the squad, but Idomo Amaku hasn't made it, having been ill all week. For the visiting side, HullCity, 5 changes from 2 weeks ago as they beat Sheffield Wednesday. Having been in Orlando in the United States with his country Croatia, Ivan Panda loses his place in goal, with Dylan Phillips making his first league appearance this season. Charlie Hughes is back from suspension, and there's also a recall for Louis Coyle. John Lundstrom comes in to start against one of his former clubs, and Mohamed Baloumi makes his first start since Boxing Day. Paddy McNair had a knock with Northern Ireland and returned from international duty only. He's on the bench with Egan Miller and the injured Slater all making way. Slater not involved at all this afternoon. Fairly unique stadium here with the cinema end very much in view away to our left hand side. Does make things a little bit more blustery and blowy in this stadium. Jamie Donnelly getting a start today. He scored actually for his national team Northern Ireland against Wales in the friendly they had on Tuesday. Still a rookie at the age of 21. Final moments to chat here for Hull and Louis Coyle, who's giving the final talk. Carl Joseph, once of Oxford United, scored a 10 goals 2022-23 season, long before this man arrived, Matt Bloomfield. He has to watch his step today. He's a yellow card away from a suspension. Sergei Mikhailovic replaced Ruben Sayers in the summer and has done great things so far, but he has actually lost 3 of his last 5 games. So they could be even in a better position than what they're in at the moment. So it will be Oxford to start us off. The third worst home record against the third best away record normally points to one kind of result, but you never quite know in the Championship. Oxford United against HullCity, one of 9 3 o'clock kickoffs today, and things always look a lot clearer following the Easter weekend programme. The hosts could get out of the relegation zone for the first time since Boxing Day, but after Middlesbrough lost to Millwall at lunchtime, Hull might think the top 2 is still within reach for them. Gelhardt there, who is their joint leading scorer so far this season, having to get on defensive duty straight away. As Oxford have a free kick here, which Cameron Brannigan is likely to take. Skipper leaves it here. Actually, terribly bent in there by Donnelly. Wherever everybody goes. from their last 5 championship games. Oxford United have won 10 points, only 4 teams in the entire division have won more points in that period. Before that run they were 6 points off 21st place, and now just a single point has them behind 21st, which they'll be hoping to catch sometime soon. Watford, Leicester, West Brom, Blackburn all in action. At the moment it's all action to give his side a very good start indeed, but the deflection took the sting out of it. The whole finished up before the 2-week break with a 3-1 win again. Particular hurdle, but before that they lost 3-0 at West Brom, which was a disappointment for them. James Morrison's side improving in recent weeks since the former midfielder took over. We thought that Oxford won't have been anticipating too much. Back here by Ajay. He's away with his national team, Nigeria, and played in a friendly against Iran. Actually taken off at half-time in that game as well, but all seems to be okay now. It's returned from international duty early. Lovely take there by Bellumi, who could be in, and it's found the net inside 3.5 minutes. What a start for the Tigers, who come roaring into this Good Friday clash. Sergei Yakinovic's side, with their first foray forward, have made it count by one of today's inclusions. His first goal since the 26th of December. And it was the old-fashioned pump forward that did for them, but what a take there on the chest. Wonderful close control too. Might have gone across goal, but it was the ball towards the near post instead that took a deflection. And has the goalkeeper Jamie Cumming been all ends up? Hull ahead already. Well, I said in my introduction about the thought may be that Hull might get into the top 2, but the away fans actually chanting K Sarah Sarah, whatever will be, we're going to Wembley, so maybe in fact the playoffs still very much in their mind at the moment. Well intercepted there. Crossed by Lundstrom. Played over 100 times here for Oxford until 2017. Here's Crooks. So in by Hughes. Back after his red card in the defeat away to West Brom in the middle of March. Drama. Ajay. Hughes. It's in the books of both Liverpool and Manchester City as a youngster. He's hoping to play them next season. It's away by Cumming. Just about kept in play there by Stanley Mills. Not on here for Lancashire, but good goalkeeping by Dylan Phillips. His first league appearance for the club today. There's still a signing from Rotherham last June, but has only played in the Cups up until now. Today his first appearance since he played in the 4-0 home defeat to Chelsea back on the 13th of February. Bellumi, who's looking really up for the battle today. Ajay. Crooks. Lundstrom. Trying to set Carl Joseph through. Joseph played on the right last time out, but has switched sides to accommodate Bellumi today. No side has won more away games than Hull this season. 10 so far, as many as they've won back at the MKM. Which is some going.
Free trial access has...
Many people weren't quite sure what to expect from him. His previous jobs before taking over at Hull at Kayserispor, smaller club in Istanbul, Dinamo Zagreb, Rijeka and Zrinjski Mostar as well, who have come to the attention of a few fans in England this season, but mainly because of their double-legged tie against Crystal Palace in European competition. Mills, stepping and sliding. Given. Today's referee, who's Oliver Langford. Algerian speedster this time. Bloomfield side with work to do now. They're going to have to do this the hard way. They've been averaging 1.2 points per game since he took over from Gary Rowett in January. Just 0.9 previously. So there has been a lot more attention to detail in his reign so far. Flanagan looking to restart things. Kurt Harris standing there too. The referee wanting a word with Bellumi first of all. Having even for a still ball here. And Harris here, the Ajay away. Already can just afford to take a few extra seconds. No real rush at the moment. Oxford's won 3 games in a row at the end of February, coming into March, winning here against West Brom and Blackburn, on their travels up at Preston as well. They would have won against Charlton to make it 4 successive wins, but conceded a penalty from Charlie Kelman 3 minutes into added time at the end of the game. Well, here's the Lancashire, who will get there, and that's a penalty. Well, I think think it was close first of all as to whether it was in or outside the box. The home fans shouting on, with Hughes, who's only just backward, that's going for the ball. He's not going to see red here. Surely it will just be a yellow. Ellick and McBurney in arguments. This is the yellow. How close was that to being inside the box or outside the box? Contact comfortably in. Great call by the officials. Looked at one stage as though the contact might come outside or maybe on the line, which of course is part of the area, but after he slid in, the contact was firmly inside the 18-yard box. And so, a penalty here for Cameron Brannigan, who has already scored from the spot this season. And he does so again here. It's 1-1. The captain steps up and he's scored in both games against them now. Well, the penalty not quite into the corner, but had sufficient power to beat the goalkeeper. Cameron Brannigan on the score sheet. Oxford weren't behind for long. Wasn't too far away from actually nicking the ball, was he? Question marks as to whether it was a foul. The referee in no doubt. This game has a different look and feel to it with Lancashire on the ball again. Brannigan taken off his toe there by Gelhardt. Go again here. It was unlikely to be a straightforward task for them. There's always a bit more bite and intensity in these Easter games as things get a little bit more focused towards the end of the season. We saw that certainly in the game between Middlesbrough and Millwall just a couple of hours ago. Stadium making a bit more noise here now. Well, they've got the majority of the ball so far, but nothing to separate the sides once again. Hull's games have actually been so entertaining this season. 119 goals all told for both sides. League leaders Coventry have had more goals in their game so far. Theirs have been weighted a little bit more towards them. Been so leaky at the back. So here we see challenge again. I think Lancashire certainly felt contact. The question was whether he was maybe on the way down already. They're disputing the finish. Back a bit here, Ruben Ruskin, who's on loan from Huddersfield Town. There's a conditional obligation in his loan deal. Certain objectives and clauses are met in the second half of the season. An option to sign him anyway. Frustration for that man. It's the fifth appointment under Acun Ilicula, with Ruben Sayers, Tim Valter, Liam Rossinia and Shota Arveladze all coming behind him. Kurt Harris. And a foul there on Mills. He looks to the referee, showing no sympathy. Joseph. A few boos from his former fans. He keeps his feet when Lancashire fail. Flanagan wide with the goal kick. So clear on his swinger. Finds Lancashire. Can't keep it. The bad news for Oxford is that Leicester are already ahead in their game at home to Preston, Patson Daka with an early goal. For Gary Rowett's side, of course, the former Oxford manager. Now Bellumi. Gelhardt going over. A whistle this time from referee Langford. And a break on here with Kurt Harris. Lancashire in the middle. Mills as well. By Jai. Burnley not happy and giving the referee a piece of his mind. Not a foul, says Langford. Oliver Burnley has certainly chipped in with the goals this season for Hull. And I think Gelhardt tried to leave a leg in there. Good call by the referee. Penalty, by the way, for Flanagan, his 6th goal this season. Only will Lancashire score more than him for Oxford this term. We'll let that one slip. He's never stuck around anywhere for too long, Sergei Yakinovich. No doubt will have been in celebratory mood earlier this week, being a Bosnian national. He'll beat Italy on penalties to reach the World Cup finals in a couple of months. Brown to Ruskin. Quickly, the other left back out with a calf injury at the moment, so opportunity for Ruskin down that side today, especially with Curry injured too. Kurt Harris trying to shrug off Crooks, which is easier said than done. Konak, Brannigan, Brown, Ruskin. Really well. Jai with the header. Brown. Brannigan. Here's Mills. Whacks that one in there. And the header for Blanchett goes over the top behind and peers up to the big screen behind the goal just to see how close he was. And Mills it was there with a terrific ball in. Terrific, at least from his point of view. Lancashire might feel it was just too far ahead of him, but as a striker you've got to thrive off opportunities like that, and he knows it. A certain bully boy attitude to him as a striker. Doesn't mind the rough and tumble. He gets sent off in there. On the straw at Coventry back at the start of February. He came on off the bench. Burnley couldn't take the ball with him. Brannigan. Mills. Trying to find Lancashire a different way, but the wind not his friend there. Blustery day. This stadium just outside of the city centre itself, one of the tourist hotspots in this country. Lancashire. No bother as it comes back to Brannigan. Brown. Harris. It comes through here now to Godley. I think might have lifted that one over the fence and behind into the car park. Sort of steady himself, but the ball was ping-ponged around initially. Indeed, that might have done some damage to someone's back windscreen there. He was only had a couple of months out after leaving Luton Town in October. He was relegated with them last season. Doesn't want another championship drop on his CV here. They've certainly shown enough spirit in the opening quarter of this game to show they're certainly up for the battle. Goes and Hull gets the decision. Balumi. And he's bending one again. Certainly from a shooting point of view, no harm with the wind playing tricks for both teams. Well, he had a look up and into the box, but decided the best option was to let rip himself. He's mainly been a substitute this season. And with how he started, it's somewhat hard to imagine that he hasn't started a game since December. Ajay. Brown. Taken down nicely there by Donnelly. Harris. In January from Brentford, having had a couple of loan spells away from the West Londoners. Drame feeling some left thigh pain here. The wind swirling and whipping its way around this stadium again. Harris. Trying to depth with his feet. Here's Kodak. Long. Well, that's another sign from Brentford in January, though only on loan. Hands high for Hellick. And Brown. Really been turned towards goal there by Lancashire. Phillips has taken issue with him. And Phillips saying there was a boot out there. And the referee to look at his chin. The referee, I don't think, saw it. The assistant might have been better placed on that side, looking across. It was Lancashire a naughty boy here. Well, it came on the arm, first of all, of Hennick. Brown tried to touch it on, and then Lancashire went for a ball that was loose. Not entirely sure what the goalkeeper is accusing him of here. He's saying that it was a naughty kick on the defender, but I think he was just going for the ball. Ajay. Balumi. Drame. Bert Harris. That's it, a little bit short there for Brannigan, whose footballing ability can't be questioned, but not the most athletic. Drame. Balumi. Maybe a little too casual there. Helic hands it high. Pollock has given Swansea an equaliser at Sheffield United. Ryan Crowley has given QPR a lead at home to Watford. Dobson giving West Brom a lead as well, which is bad news for Oxford. West Brom looking to pull themselves well away from danger now. Scrappy in the last 10 minutes or so. The only two shots on target so far in the game have been the goals. Too high for Balumi. Just a little chance there. He was a signing from Farense in 2024, the Faro club on the southern tip of Portugal. Craig Shaw there, one of Matt Bloomfield's trusty lieutenants in the background. Some coaches in their 40s, which is pretty old by EFL standards these days. The age is coming down and down all the time, you feel. The appointments of Roy Hodgson at Bristol City elsewhere in this division, pushing that average up a little bit. Helic. Crooks. McBurney, who's barely had a touch so far. Mills. Brannigan, smart turn away. And a range of passing which is pretty good, but a push by Lancashire ends the attack. Crooks. see there, Hull with almost 60% of the ball, but those 2 single shots on target so far is all that either team has mustered. Lock. Side by Donnelly. Lancashire to Konak. Nice from Oxford. Brannigan to Ruskin. Doesn't have too much on him by way of physicality, but a tidy footballing brain makes up. We're running into yellow traffic. There for Joseph, but able to collect. This side need to find their mojo again. Haven't won 4 of the last 10 league games since winning 4 in succession back at the end of January. Lundstrom. This is where the table is at the moment from an Oxford point of view. 2 points back on Leicester. Even if they were to go and win this game now, it's likely that their inferior goal difference would keep them in the bottom 3. So they've got a huge game to come on Monday away to Portsmouth, and then host Watford here next Saturday afternoon. Hull, their task couldn't get much harder on Monday as they host the league leaders Coventry, who are in action in the late game tonight against Derby County, their near neighbours. If you picked up some bad language there. Lancashire a bit potty-mouthed. Brannigan. Brown. Chai. Kelly. Halloumi. Drama. Some class proceedings at last. Pretty poor though by Chai. Make amends, and maybe more than that as well. Still might come here from McBurney. Joseph denied initially. Coyle, Crooks, Ajay, Halloumi, Crooks, Trame. Way back out to Lundstrom. Hughes. Bellumi. Neither side able to make too much of an impact at the moment. Finds the ball into Konak. Mills. He's part of an athletic family these days. His brother actually holds the 5K record for Great Britain, which I'm reasonably embarrassed to say from my 30-minute run earlier this week is actually 12 minutes. 12 minutes for a 5K, incredible. He lives in South Africa and permanently trains at 2,000 metres altitude. Breathing not a problem here. Bellumi, space to maybe profit it again. And a teaser in. And just beyond the run there of Carl Joseph, who was looking for his second goal in as many games. He has been a real live wire so far. Hugging this touchline once again. Oxford knew they had to get bodies out to him. And instead he put the ball in early. Lovely Trivella. Lundstrom popping the ball about and enjoying himself, and I think he's certainly doing that as well. Hurried into his ball away there, and Bellumi looks for the reverse, maybe, no, a chance, and saved well there by Cummings. Well, that could have been costly there for Oxford United. Brown without the composure needed when playing his ball away. Well, Bellumi might just reverse it there to play McBurney in, but instead he went across, and Joseph, seeing his effort repelled by Cummings. Coyle. The whipped-in corner for fellow defender Charlie Hughes. Bellumi's touch there didn't help him. Brown doesn't really want to lead the breakaway and doesn't give anyone else the opportunity to either. Risking to Brown. Some wayward passing from Oxford right now, which isn't giving the fans with too much confidence. And there by Gelhardt, who's not really been here nor there in this game for Hull so far. Kurt Harris. 4 minutes to go until half-time. And Harris will reach this. Great touch. Save. And coming in there. Still a chance as it headed away. And the offside flag goes up anyway. Well, Hull not looking confident in the back there at all, but Kurt Harris might feel he should have done better there as he looked for his second goal for the club. The touch just sat nicely for him there. But then, with Kurt Harris off the field then coming back on, that's why he was technically in an offside position. You are counted as being on the goal line if you leave the field of play. into the air towards McBurney. Brown. The pull there on a jive. Lancashire. The referee's bad books again. Might end up getting himself a yellow card for persistent fouling soon. This thing to do from his point of view, he could still have applied the pressure. One step further. Kick here, which is being edged forward by Joe Gelhardt. Gelhardt was whipping in there, but Burnley was being held. And then his shot was blocked. Mills. As well, finds the ball he needed to. Quite the same there. Drame. Ball again, didn't quite have the legs this time. Bellumi. Oxford saying it's their ball and the officials concur. Andrew Moran with an equaliser for Preston at King Power Stadium. Which isn't a happy place right now. Happy places. Only Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn have taken fewer points at home than Oxford so far this season. Coyle. Well, they've somehow got to find a way to get the ball to Ollie McBurney a bit more. He has been so isolated so far. Crooks. Lundstrom. Single minute of additional time. Bellumi. Nice set. Gelhardt on. Joseph wanting to return it back right. Lancashire. A big old unit trying to get involved again there with a jive. The tempo to this game, good intensity. Actually, nothing to separate the sides, it looks like, going into half time. Overtime in added time. And a backwards pass sees the referee blow for the break. Well, Hull were ahead inside 3.5 minutes when Mohamed Bellumi netted for them. They started so well, but Oxford hit back 9 minutes later. A penalty won by Lancashire, dispatched by Cameron Brannigan. The captain stepping up to give his side an equaliser, and since then no further way forward for either side, and the break is all square. Oxford 1, Hull 1. where at half-time there are going to be changes for both teams. Confirmation of the goal switch in just a second. Spencer coming on here for the home side. John Egan has gone on for HullCity. Just wonder whether maybe that yellow card might count against Charlie Hughes here. So we're ready to go again. The score's level. Still swirling, but the fight for promotion and survival alive for a few weeks yet. Could be a big winner out of these two teams. This Hughes has gone off here with Egan introduced, and Hull looking for another quick start to the second half as they did the first. They're prevented from doing so by an offside flag. Not sure he was though, Joseph. Well, maybe the flag actually had already gone up, so it was McBurney who was flagged offside from earlier in the move. Ruskin up for Spencer for Oxford as well if they make that change. Egan has just come on for Holbus, an unused substitute in Ireland's crucial playoff game against Czechia that they ultimately lost on penalties, but he did get 70-odd minutes in their friendly against North Macedonia in Dublin. He started the week. So he's in a good place to come on and play here, and that's the record against Oxford as well. He's played 3-on-1-3 against them throughout his career. So we have an issue here which has been sorted out for Yunus Konak, who Brentford actually paid €4.5 million for from Sivasspor, the Turkish side. The year before last, he's still only 20. He's an under-21 international, but wasn't in their squad, just gone. Brown in here, and Hennick waiting in the middle. The whole defence there spotted like the River Humber estuary, but Oxford couldn't take advantage. Nothing glamorous about the long ball forward. Hull didn't deal with it at all there. Ajay was blocked off. That ball was pumped long, and it was nearly the perfect set play as Brown helped it in. Hellick climbing. It was actually punched onto his head there by Phillips. Can't quite see it, but Ajay was blocked from defending the ball there, which is why he was nowhere to be seen. Of course, with no VAR in the Championship, none of that kind of thing can be sorted out if the ball had gone in. Hellick's all right. Thrice scored goals against Hull in his career. Just 7 appearances before today. Feeling a bit of pain in that elbow joint. The whole bench is alive here. Dean Holden stood in the middle, one of Jakinović's assistants. Feeling too animated, Sergei Yakinovic. I think if this side could take another point here today, it would be seen as a positive. They want to at least make sure they're in the playoff hunt, and they could pinch one of those top two places. That would of course be ideal, but they have some ground to make up. Their run-in is not easy. As I said, they've got Coventry to come in the next game, Sheffield United and Birmingham after that, but then travel to Leicester and Charlton, who are in the lower reaches, and finish at home to Norwich, who has a big pick-up under Philippe Clement at Carrow Road. Nice combination. Players flying around everywhere. It is an Oxford throw. The drum is beating. The throw that will be taken here by the newly introduced Brodie Spencer. No, Pern Harris is going to take it. Take it poorly. Balumi out. Pern Harris. Back out to Brannigan, who takes aim! And a flying save by Phillips. Still a chance with Mills. Not a bad ball in at all. Oxford to try to crank up the heat. Mills trying to be clever there, but gives the ball away. Here's Brown. Konak. Mills. Who clips it high this time, out by Drame. Crooks. Balumi, who has been Hull's standout so far. Spencer challenging him, but barely, and winning the ball. Important save there by standing Dylan Phillips today, who certainly isn't jet lagged, unlike Ivor Pandor, who's on the bench. Brannigan's effort was moving and travelling. Wouldn't say it was a comfortable save, but I think he just about saw it all the way. Ajay concedes another throw, which in theory is a long one if Pern Harris can get the distance. With a towering header out. Pern Harris. Still Pern Harris. Mills. Great ball again. Every time he whips them in, there's no one either coming across the face, just to flick it beyond the goalkeeper, or really attacking it with any kind of menace. Very much accepting their place in this game as the side who is not going to see the majority of the ball, but they have created the better chances, no doubt about that. They have an XG far superior to their visitors, who managed just 0.37 so far. Granted, Oxford nearly get 0.8 alone with the penalty, but 2.34 overall. Actually haven't been a side that have dealt well with going behind this season, as they managed to today by finding a leveller, because in the top four tiers only Accrington and Sheffield Wednesday have won fewer points than they've gone behind in games. feeling we're in for some more drama in this game yet. It just has the feeling of one that has a certain late spice about it. Egan's header. Gelhardt. Joseph. Crooks. Back in the English game these days after a spell out in the MLS. It's gone behind for a corner. The overlapping run was really good there by Drame. Ultimately carried behind by the goalkeeper Jamie Cumming. He once saved a couple of penalties against Hull in the shootout when he was playing for Stevenage 5.5 years ago. Has been a dependable goalkeeper for them this season, at least in terms of availability, having played every minute. Louis Coyle's corner. Free header for Lundstrom. Coyle. A simple ball to be played in was played through a crowd. Lundstrom tried to fire it. Back off the North Turkish coast this season, John Lundstrom, where of course Acun Ilıcalı is well connected in that country and on loan from Trabzonspor. The block there by Herrick. Crooks anticipated that well. Still maybe a chance for Belumi. McBurney. Crooks. Not quite the car park. Well, Hull with a few moments to cause Oxford fans significant worry. Belumi there with a slice really into the air, but McBurney took control again. Over the top with Crooks unable to get over the top of the ball. Lundstrom. Drame. Concentration lacking. Hand up in apology as well. Out of the side through injury this season, the one-time England under-21 international. Burnley can't hold it again. Bert Harris. Egan. Some good promotion success with Sheffield United under Chris Wilder previously. Too far away from his club these days. Is Ajay. Mills back. Long, looks long, but plenty of fade on it as well. Spencer, well initially, and after that as well. Supply come for Lancashire. energy-sapping encounter so far. And the weather hasn't helped either. Hull haven't won away to Oxford in any of their last 14 visits, would you believe, since they won 3-2 at the Manor Ground in November 1975, thanks to goals from Chris Galvin, Ken Wagstaff and Vince Grimes as well. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them. Here's Brannigan. Taken away from him. Hull have numbers moving forward. Bellumi. Crooks. And again, McBurney left to rue what might have been his chance had the ball been left. No free kick. Bellumi. Looks to play off McBurney this time. He's trying to muscle his way in. And in doing so, gives away the free kick. Another sky ball, as that angle perfectly demonstrates. We've seen a few of them today. Burnley left frustrated. He's been involved in more goals than any other player in the division this season. 13 goals himself and assists for 7 others. First Hull player to reach 20 goal involvement in a championship season since Jared Bowen in the 2019-20 COVID-affected season when he got 23. Scored in his last 6 games coming into this match, which is his longest run this season. And to try and mix things up, Hull are about to make a double change. Lewis Kumas will be one to come on. Looks like Kieran Dowell might be the other. Liam Miller in the mix as well. Bert Harris. Touch in the box there leaves Hennick in a heat. Brannigan. Bert Harris. Now up there by Coyle, and he certainly blocked him with it as well. Oxford won't be happy if they concede from this, but it is a throw. Lundstrom, Egan taking no chances as he sends it as far as he can, but again the wind holding it high. Overlapping run there from Trame. What a play. A corner here to Hull in front of their travelling fans on that far side. Well, it was an aggressive challenge by Ajay, who, before winning the header, caught his man in the face. Another clear handball as well there against Coyle. Continued discussions about VAR in the Championship. It does now appear as though plenty of the coaches and clubs want it. Of course, it all has to be financed and signed off at a higher level. It doesn't appear as though it's happening anytime soon. So Kumas is on here. Bellumi is making way after a lively appearance for him. Still working his way back to full fitness. It's his goal that put Hull in front. It is actually going to be Kieran Dowell who comes on. Gelhardt the other to go off. Corner in, but quickly out. Dowell's first involvement to bring it down there for Coyle. Dowell. Lundstrom. shot, really. Too much care and attention put into that. Foul. Referee letting a few things go in this game, but not prepared to do so there. Should be said that with the scores as they are elsewhere at the moment, Oxford with this draw would be getting out of the bottom three on goal difference, leaving Leicester in the bottom three, Portsmouth in the bottom three, and Blackburn at the moment also drawing 0-0 in their game against Birmingham City. So it would be a very positive day indeed for the U's if things were to stay as they are across the country. Might be a team promoted into the Championship today as well, with Lincoln City on the verge of a return to the second tier. Brannigan, Mills, Bernie rushed in what he was doing, nearly worked out, but hooked by Spencer. Mills, thinking his thinking. Achai, pushed over by Brown unfairly, and the free kick is awarded. Agree that was the correct call. No complaints from Brown either. Confirmation of that double change. Jai. Well, things were going so well for West Brom, but Wrexham have pegged them right back. Of course, Wrexham in the playoff hunt themselves, and they'll go back into the top six with a point there today. They'll be 3 points behind Hull, who would be 4 points inside the top six, but, and it is a but, Southampton, who've had a terrific second half to the season and haven't lost since they were beaten by Hull on the 17th of January, would be just a point behind Wrexham with a game in hand. And they very much want to be part of the playoff party. Halfway through the second half. No change to the score that we had after 13 minutes. Free kick here to Hull. This is the bottom of the Championship table as things stand. You can see that a goal difference 3 better off for Oxford would put them in 21st. But they play Portsmouth next. What a game that is going to be at Fratton Park at 12:30 start on Monday. Here's Kumas. Well, it's been a strange old season for him. Dad Jason, of course, the cultured central midfielder in his playing days. Kumas Jr. a little further wide and was on loan at Birmingham City in the first half of the campaign, but couldn't really get the game time he wanted under Chris Davis, so switched at the turn of the year. Challenge there again on Helic. From Majai. I have to say, Hennig probably a bit unfortunate there not to get a penalty. He was impeded, even if Ajayi was jumping for the ball. Questions might be asked of referee Oliver Langford following this game. Hoping to make something of this yet. That's done really well there against Long. His cross was too long. Did really well to keep this move alive here for Hull. Looked like Long had managed to keep him out wide, but that touch there gave him the space he required. Move here for Lancashire. Hasn't really had too much to go off since half time. Kurt Harris. Brooks. It will appear as though a single goal would win this. It's not going to take a lot. Three-and-a-half-hour journey for those fans behind the taker of the throw, Cody Dramé. Back home later on, up towards Humberside. So many of their journeys are pretty lengthy. Bloomfield has been resistant so far to look to his bench too much. Another important goal going in there for Blackburn. They've been really in the mire for so much of the second half of the season. And a recent surprise win at Millwall might be followed up today. Will Harris get there? Well, he can, but Dramé just beat it. Fans in the Oxford Mail stands, patient, hoping that their time to cheer at that end of the stadium will come. Hillick in the mix again for another throw which doesn't quite have that trajectory that you need. Kurt Harris trying to fool Dramé. Will be another long attempt. Dramé's flick. Oh, still nearly a chance for Lancashire. And again. And on the turn Brown. Blocked there as Hennig went for it. Donnelly trying as well. Route 1 ball. The goalkeeper was caught there, but no harm done. Lundstrom has a look over both shoulders before receiving the ball. Checking his rear view mirrors. Harris winning a free kick. They're in a greater hurry to take it here, but prevented from doing so by the fourth official in the end, who looked like he was going to make some changes. Going to see a trio of subs. Will Bolts will come on, as well as Mark Harris and John Jin-woo, who is signed from Jump Up Motors for a goal-filled year. So first off here is Miles Harris. John Jin-woo. It's on for him out wide. We're also going to replace Jamie Donnelly. Wonderful move here, I think, by Matt Bloomfield, who's looking to throw players into the mix to really make a difference in an attacking sense. And Yunus Konak replaced by the experienced Will Bolts. So that has upped their substitution rate somewhat. One left if he wants, but I think you'll see how this trio do for the time being. Particularly looking forward to seeing John Jin-woo, twice capped by Korea Republic. 19 times he scored throughout 2025 in all competitions. High boot there by Harris, but not penalised. Crooks. And from way out here, that was Brannigan curling one towards goal. In fact, Harris, who puts a hand up in apology, that would have been some introduction for him. I'm sure if he thought the goalkeeper was further out than he was in the end, but maybe trying to put a bit of fear into him early on. Fox beaten to it by Crooks. Drame. Free kick here to Hull, and Oxford simply cannot believe it. They're flying in for it there. And actually, Spencer, all his trouble, I think, has actually picked up a yellow card. Another long ball that doesn't have the distance that people thought it might. John. So that players getting into good positions. Drame out. The pressure increasing on the whole goal here. And those home fans know that at the moment, if any side is going to win this, it's looking like it's going to be them. Long throw, much better this time as well into long. Forced to head it behind was former youth player Lundstrom. Come on, they say. They know they're in the ascendancy here and have got to make it count. Brannigan, set piece master, says he's just going to clip this one in. And on the volley it's hit there, and then headed off the ground as well, rather comically, by Hennig. Brannigan, schooled at Liverpool as a youngster. Club that they signed him from actually way back in 2018. Don't get more Oxford United than him really in this side. This man, Sam Long, whose only permanent club has been Oxford United in his career up until now. Swung by Volks. Goalkeeper couldn't claim it. And that's because, according to the referee, he was fouled. Well, as Phillips says, what do you want me to do? I was taken out. Michal Herek got backwards in coming forwards. Let's have another look here. Well, Herek, only really interested in going for the ball, might have caught the goalkeeper, but it wasn't a cynical one. That ball across, but collected by Cumming. There's only been one shot on target in this second half, but it has been for the home side, who might have another one here. Goalkeeper committed. And Phillips got it perfectly right. Things are getting tasty. 9 minutes left. Kumas. Crooks takes over. Kumas to Coyle. See what the goalkeeper did there, smothered it really well. Wasn't able to take the ball first time around, but got that hand to it. That was crucial. Is starting to have a bit more of a say. Commentators' curse in full effect there. Substitution time as John Lundstrom goes off here. Toby Collier will replace him. It's a warm ovation from the home fans as well as he departs the scene, having formerly played here, and also making way Carl Joseph. There's Liam Miller, who had some attacking threat out wide, the Canada international. He played in their games against Iceland and Tunisia. Also will be three co-hosts of the World Cup in the summer. Games in the likes of Toronto and Vancouver as well. This one destined to end the draw. At the moment, it seems that way, but in football terms, still a long way to go yet. In the top 8 of the division is winning at the moment, though that is a slightly skewed stat because only 2 of the sides are playing. We've already seen Middlesbrough, Millwall, Coventry and Derby facing off later as well. Southampton not playing. today because of the fact they've got Arsenal in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup to come. Tomorrow night at St Mary's, a big evening for them to look forward to. Ipswich as well don't have a game until Monday. They were due to play Southampton. They've got Birmingham at home. One of the 3 o'clock games on Monday afternoon. Corner to Hull. Monday afternoon, Easter Monday, always one of the finest days of games in the calendar for me. Final throws of the season. Things start to get a little bit real. Relegation and promotion places starting to be decided. Nothing decided here yet. The wind causing problems for Louis Coyle out there. Someone might have to put their finger on it. He knows he just has to get on with it here, which he does. Good header away. Throw which Brannigan takes. Drame. Coyle. There's a pull there on the shirt of McBurney. Coyle. McBurney, come on, doing the fouling there that time, I think. Harris. Shot. Quite up to speed there. Played 14 minutes against Southampton 2 weeks ago, having been an unused sub for the previous 4 matches. Having too many minutes in the tank. There goes down by the substitute Kumas, but Cumming gets it and dispatches very quickly indeed, and what a throw that is there from one goalkeeper to the other, but it's into the stand. Would have been some way to seal it from the goalkeeper's throw. Formerly at Chelsea, Jamie Cumming. Signed in 2024, having had a loan spell here previously. Another extraordinary throw there, but behind. McBurney. She hasn't had his say in this game yet. Kumas. The pendulum swinging back in Hull's favour here, having weathered that Oxford storm. Coyle. 90 seconds left of the 90. Kumas. Egan. Oxford just starting to set up camp on the edge of their own box here. The pegs are out. Coyle. Deeper ball this time. Past Miller it goes. Some of the Hull fans there have been disappointed he didn't put more effort into retrieving that. Well, their support has been unwavering from start to finish. And so is their side's commitment, in fairness. The quality not quite there, which is why they're in the position they're in. Ajay. Brooks, wasn't quite sure where the ball was going to land. Miller, trying to reach this, but Spencer preventing it. Jump. Into added time we go. 4 minutes have been allowed. Miller's cross. Brannigan misses the ball. Jump. Harris. A little bit more for Brannigan. Now Mills. Oh, that's a great ball that Harris was waiting for, but Harris couldn't finish from. That was the chance, and he knows it. The chance to win it. The chance to give themselves breathing room. Oh dear. Harris the sub, who's not scored in 7 games against Hull throughout his career. A chance there to make that a golden strike. Mills again with a sumptuous ball in. Harris just couldn't put it the right side of the post. Sliding doors moment maybe in Hull season. They have been put back into the bottom 3 because Pompey have equalised and Norwich elsewhere. Coyle with the corner. Kassab, certainly all but 1,500 of it, feeling that this might be the chance here for the Yellows. Ellick, who's been an aerial threat throughout, is in amongst it once more. Brannigan is over it once more. His steely, determined look. That's a poor ball in by his high standards. Way out though, it's saved. It was struck there by Bolton, absolutely everything he's got. Maybe a chance on the rebound, but pushed well enough wide to make sure there was no resulting goal. Brooks takes the challenge and wins the ball, and that's a free kick. Vauxhall happy with John as he picks up the ball and screams at him, but once again Dylan Phillips, who's done really well coming in today with an excellent push clear. Plenty of fans making their way from their seats. Not prepared to leave the stadium just yet, still 20 seconds to run. Mills still with plenty of legs. Dramé has stayed in play. Folks, all of his scrappy late on. These are the final seconds, and this is surely the final attack. Carried over the line, and Bloomfield's chances have surely now gone. And the point should surely be viewed as a positive that is now confirmed by the full-time whistle. 1-1 it finishes, and 1-1 it was in this game after this 13 minutes. Balumi gave the away side the lead after just 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The penalty from Cameron Brannigan levelled things up just under 10 minutes later, and both sides, for their respective reasons, in their differing objectives at the end of the season, have to settle for a point. But both have absolutely huge games to come on Monday and have to prepare for those now. A short turnaround ahead of those matches. Absolutely everything given here in this game. Brannigan's penalty securing a point for the home side in the end, which at the end of the day looks like it's going to keep them in the bottom three because of results elsewhere. But full time here at the Kassam, it's finished. Oxford United 1, HullCity 1.